Blizzard, if you're watching this, something has to change very soon. With the economy being completely out of control on the anniversary realms, it's just a matter of time before players are going to quit. With the cost of consumes continuing to climb, even after the previous Black Lotus change, where they were around 100 to 150 gold, now they're up to 300 to 400 gold each. Flasking is going to cost you 400 to 500 gold each, and your basic consumes like a firewater or a mongoose are 18 gold each. And with the population continuing to rise on the anniversary realms, this issue is only going to get worse. Consumes have gotten so bad that my guild Squawk has now made the decision to no longer require flasking. And this is coming from a very competitive group of players, a guild that's recently achieved the world first clear on Horde side, as well as being the third clear in the world for Blackwing Lair, not to mention having the fastest kill times on every single boss in Molten Core. And we have a lot of like-minded players from other competitive guilds such as Bipolar, Eternal, Beef Bar, Progress, Overclock, and even players from the Guild Who. With that being said, it's completely unrealistic for your average raiding guild to be consuming this much every week. My suggestion to fix this would be to give us the change added in the Burning Crusade to where high-level herbs have a chance of giving you a Black Lotus. This would give access to your average player to go out in the open world and actually farm some of these resources. And in the future, another change I think that would be good for the game is giving us elementals from high-level mining nodes as well as herbs. Maybe giving us an elemental water from something like a Strangle Kelp, and maybe something like a Fire Bloom could give us an elemental fire. Same thing for the mining nodes, giving us elemental earth and elemental fire as well. This would make the game feel more alive, as your average player can now actually farm some of these resources for their raid, rather than having to farm raw gold, or just buying gold for the matter, as a lot of players seem to be doing, just to be able to afford their consumes every single week. And surely not everyone is buying gold, but the argument still stands, and I know someone will say this in the comments. You don't have to pop consumes every week or flask every week. The average player base is just not going to agree with that sentiment. The moment you stop popping consumes or your tanks stop flasking, the raid gets increasingly more taxing and more time consuming for everyone involved. If your tank isn't flasked on Broodlord, for example, after the Mortal Strike goes out, they're likely going to fall over if they don't have enough health. Whenever you pull Threat on Veil, if you don't pop a lip and you wipe half the raid, now that raid's going to take twice as long because you lost so many world buffs. And it's all because of that one potion not being used. The Draconoid trash in Blackwing Lair. It's so miserable if your tanks aren't popping Vaps. Obviously, these are some extremely specific examples, but without a doubt, the game becomes so much more frustrating than fun whenever you stop popping consumables. As someone who used to really enjoy farming gold, spending 10 to 20 hours a week farming Sunken Temple just for your basic consumes, it's becoming very tedious and just not fun anymore. And as much as players want to argue that GDKPs being banned is a good thing, I really don't think so. The game is still just as transactional as it was before. You can still pay to win by buying items off the auction house. You can buy Lionheart, Edgemasters, Cloudkeepers, or any of the consumes for that matter. And this problem doesn't just go away over time. As new patterns are introduced, like Titanic leggings, you know someone's going to have them day one, regardless of how much they cost. And anyone doing this by buying gold is at such a huge advantage versus anyone that's not doing this. And regardless of what you think, players are still trading gold for items within raids. It's definitely not at the same capacity as a gold bid run, but it's without a doubt still happening, as it happened to me in Season of Discovery. I won the role for the Prince Thundering Cloak, and directly after that, I was offered gold to sell the item to them. I can almost guarantee you I'm not the only one that has had this happen to, and no doubt the player bought gold for that specific reason. If this is happening to me on Season of Discovery, it's most likely happening on the Fresh servers as well. This even happened to me back in TBC when gold bid runs were a thing. I was doing a guild run, which was a loot council structure, and over time, not to get too much into it, there was a specific warlock that would buy pieces of gear off of other raid members that were assigned those pieces. Some players would accept the gold and some players would decline it. But it ultimately came to a stop when a raider traded them and their add-on self-reported them. It said in raid chat that they traded so-and-so for 2,000 gold for the tier token, and obviously some of the other raid members were upset. With GDKPs being a thing at the time, that gold would have gotten split amongst them rather than just losing the item. Not to mention, it probably would have got bid up a little bit higher as it was a Priest Pally Warlock token, so some of those other classes would have probably bid the item up a bit. So unless gold buying is dealt with, these issues are gonna continue to happen. And in my opinion, it's honestly more unfair the way that the game is now to players like myself who don't buy gold and play the game legitimately. When GDKPs were in the game, I could spend 2 to 3 hours a week, do one gold bid run, and I would have all of my consumes covered for both my warrior and my shaman. Whereas now, I'm only playing on one character, and I'm farming around 10 hours of Sunken Temple every week just to afford the basic consumables for my warrior. Ultimately, in a perfect world, gold buyers and gold sellers are permanently banned, and we don't have to worry about this issue anymore. Obviously, that's not the case. So what does the future look like for Classic WoW? Are we going to have the WoW token added? Are we going to have GDKPs back into the game? What do you think will happen? Let me know in the comments below what Blizzard could do to resolve the situation. And that's pretty much everything I got. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos just like this one. And as always, I will see you in the next video.